Hi there and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicholas Andrew and I am the Somatic Singer, and today the time has come to go back, and luckily, for us, these times come around pretty quickly, to go back and revisit Dimash, one of the best singers in the whole wide world right now, in my opinion, if not the best. Very controversial statement to make, I know. So maybe I should just say one of the best so we don't offend anyone. One of the best singers in the whole wide world right now, singing Your Love from a 2020 Moscow performance. And I've come to expect the unexpected from Dimash, so let's dive in, because that's exactly what I'm expecting.
In the right place to move.
So when I think about what material I'm going to do for Dimash videos, I always look at the suggestions, and we talked about it a few weeks ago, but I wanted to do Stranger. Well, in fact, I did do it, but the video just keeps getting blocked. I've chopped it up to the point where it doesn't even really make sense. I blurred out the screen, nothing seems to affect it. And I'm not sure actually if YouTube works like that, because when you run an ID claim before you upload, it searches by audio, not by visual. Anyway, I could be wrong, so if anyone has any advice, then please let me know. Because I've seen other channels use videos literally like 3 days before that I've used, full screen, no shading out, nothing, and it's absolutely fine, but I get blocked. Because another video as well that I wanted to feature was El Amor en Ti. And I really wanted to do that video, because it's in Spanish. Well, it's got a Spanish title, so I'm presuming it's in Spanish. Be a bit weird if it wasn't. Y puedo hablar un poco español también, I can speak a little bit of Spanish. I love the language, so that was really disappointing for me. But, voy a hacer un video en español en el futuro. I'm definitely going to make a video in Spanish in the future. It is just a little bit difficult for me though. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to end up reacting to the whole back catalogue of Dimash at some point anyway. So sit back, relax, and get ready for those vocal folds to start banging together, creating some amazing vocal acrobatic skills. This video is as good as any. Here we go again. Wind's blowing in his hair.
I still remember us, were the times where we won, when we were war. Do you recall?
Delicious.
Nothing was dangerous. We had the strength to live our dreams, to feed our souls.
I love that part of his voice. It's so... That was low.
It's like the pain that I fight against. What can I do to love again?
Oh, beautiful. There's that airy bit I like. I say it every time, but I don't care.
Where do you live? What do you do at night? Do you still care? Do you still share memories? And when I sing, do you still hear my voice? Singing to you every note I can sing.
Is that his voice in the background as well?
Now what is left of all this love?
Never get bored of that.
What can I do to love again?
See the lean? Now there's no good place to stop these videos, but like I said, for copyright, I've got to stop it somewhere. And besides, that's as good a place as any. But for me, Dimash, he's the king of like the vocal transition, or the coming in and out of different vocal styles. His agility is absolutely off the scale, and the speed that he does these things at, it's astounding. But also really clever there, he was really astute, just the way he set that whole passage up. So he begins quite low before he starts moving up through his vocal range, and did you hear that chesty kind of connection that he was making? Now that is nowhere near as chesty as what he can produce, but he's doing that on purpose because he knows what's coming next. So he does that, and then he leans back into his body, and don't get me started on the lean, we're going to talk about that, but then he goes into that mix and then explodes onto that high note, out of nowhere by the way, more of a heady kind of connection, back into that light chesty mix, and then really what we know after that into a complete mix. I mean, oh my God, that's like 5 things in like 3 seconds that he did there. Absolutely astounding, 10 out of 10, it was perfect. So I'm pretty sure that Dimash absolutely practices his backside off when it comes to these songs in rehearsal. I mean, he probably like micromanages the vocal. And I don't say that as any shade, I see that as a compliment. He's so utterly disciplined. And let's face it, you have to be singing this type of song. I mean, they're absolutely ginormous. And they were probably even challenging for him in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, every singer, who has the ability to go off script, and throw in some improvisation, yeah, you're going to do that. But with these types of songs, like I said, because they are so big, the voice really needs to know what it's doing. You need that muscle memory. Otherwise, you're just going to make mistakes. And let's face it, he never does. So I've just got to talk about that lean that I mentioned before, just to wrap this whole section up. Like I've said before, you've got to get your whole body involved when you sing. And Dimash does that every single time he sings. I mentioned the hand directing him. I've seen his head shake. I've seen him go down to the floor, a leg bend, a lean. It just goes on and on. 100% he's a full body singer. He is my inspiration. Dimash, my friend, thank you very much. We got to do it again. Testing. Look, what's that? That's so different to what he just did. That sound. Legs. Bit of soprano, who cares? We can all do that. It's crazy. So let's just stop that bit there, because that was like a 180 to what I was just talking about. So he starts quite low, but then he's in that thick, chesty sounding vocal quality. And that's about as chesty as he gets, really. And why is he doing that? Well, it's because he knows what's coming next. He's about to make that one simple transition, well, not simple, like really, really difficult. He's about to make that one transition, from A to B, mid-belt to that high mixy note, super fast, by the way. But he hasn't got to go through his range, he hasn't got to manipulate that. So he can afford to do that. Now, so many things could go wrong doing that, and it is difficult. Forget that I said simple. He could go flat, he could go sharp, he could have to micromanage some of those onsets, if you don't hit it properly, or God forbid, you could even crack. And let's face it, he's not going to do that. But I just really hope people see, the level of mastery that he has. And I'm sure you do. I'm kind of preaching to the choir, really. But anyway, I'm going to stop gushing. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to press play, and let's go through to the end. Running and singing full voice. Modulate higher. Wow. He's on the floor. Mouth locked in position. Out of this world. And there we have it, that wraps up another Dimash reaction. You know, the fantastic, the stupendous, magnifico, por favor, Dimash, the one and only. You know, and like I always say, you know, I do hear something different every time I hear him sing. You know, and it never gets old. It never gets old. And that performance is exactly the same. You know, I talked about the thinning out, the chestiness, you know, the flipping around from different voice qualities. And that performance, you know, is littered with those examples. And basically, honestly, I could have stopped it every 5 seconds and said, oh God, you know, he's done it again. But that would have been boring. And I really enjoyed the song as well, you know. And it's quite refreshing for me, actually, to hear him sing in English. Not that it really matters what language he's singing in, because his voice always transcends and carries that emotion through. But, you know, when I did Ikanaide, that reaction video, check it out if you haven't seen it, I just loved that, you know. And let's face it, I didn't have a clue what he was on about, you know. It's in Japanese, but I absolutely found it really, really spellbinding. And he didn't even give us his full vocal range. I mean, yes, he gave us a lot, but it was a little bit more contained. But anyway, that's probably become my most favourite performance of his so far. So the time has come for me to stop talking and for you to start writing, so please do that and drop me a message. I mean, do you agree with anything that I've just said? I mean, you don't have to. I mean, is it the chestiness that impresses you? Is it the transitions? Is it the mix? Is it the whistle? Is it everything? It is for me. Is it the knee bend? I mean, it could be any of those things. So please, I'm fascinated to know. Drop me a comment in the section below, like and subscribe and give me some playtime. And remember that anything that I've said here today about Dimash is not fact. It's just my opinion, and that's a fact. Peace, y'all.